Alright guys, so the object is take this little hook and hook the rubber band that's going through the piece of wood.
I'm so confused.
Let me show you one more time.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Alright guys, I've saved you the pain of watching me whittle off the bark on this little guy. Here's what we started with. This is a piece of magnolia from my yard that we trimmed off probably 6-7 months ago. Alright, I might even cut the ends off a little straighter here so it'll sit a little flatter. It sits pretty flat right now, but it's a little crooked, but it doesn't really matter. So if you want to try this and not have as much trouble cutting away the wood that I did. And it can be square too. You can make this square. I think the one that my father and I made back years ago was, the base part of it was square. Doesn't matter. You can make it oval shaped or square shaped or whatever shape your wood is. Be a 1x1 block of basswood. If you've got that, it'd be a whole lot easier. But we'll see what it looks like when we get done putting a little wood finish on it, or paint, or whatever we decide to do with it. So anyway, let me clean this mess up and we'll get some different tools out here and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so now I've got just a piece of scrap 1x1, and what I'm going to do is it's a longer piece, so that I only need a little bit of it. I only need about 3/4 of an inch at the top. So what I'm going to do is, so I can have something to hold hold on to while I carve this top. I'm just gonna leave it long, and then we're gonna cut it off after we've finished smoothing out that top. So it's a piece of 1 by 1. We're gonna come down, let's see, I think an inch is a little too long. Let's go on and make it an inch. If it's wrong, we can cut a little more off. Just go around, make an inch mark. All the way around, and then we'll start smoothing off, rounding off the top. And then we'll come back at that 1 inch line after we're finished, and I'll put it in the vise and we'll cut it off. So let's take this big guy again and just start smoothing off, rounding off the top. So the goal here is to get it, because this is going to fit up into a dowel, and it's going to fit down inside this piece, and when you squeeze it, you want to be able to pinch it and it come out of your hands. So let's cut up to that one inch line from underneath. Go all the way around, get all those corners. Connect those, try to get them pretty straight. Straight lines, because that's where we're going to cut it. We're going to cut this top part loose from the rest of it when we're finished up. So we want a nice straight line, if we can get it straight so it'll lay flat on top of here. And if you're not perfectly straight, it doesn't matter. It's just a little fun toy. But it might work a little better, might sit there a little better if it's got a nice flat surface. Okay, so let's take these corners off. First. And now we'll start smoothing that in a little bit. And there's no technique to this, guys. There's just to get it rounded off enough to where when you pinch it, it'll come out of your fingers. And I guess the smaller you get it, the easier it's going to come out. It's going to shoot out of your fingers. But I don't want it to look like it's been cut in a machine, so I'm going to take off all the flatness of this top piece. Give it some nice wood chip looking edges all the way around. Just don't want any flat spots. Give it a homemade look, what I'm after. Okay, I'm going to throw this in the vise and cut this off at the top. I think it's about where we want to be. So now we're going to cut a hole down through the little block of wood. Probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches deep. Let's say 2.5. You want it deep enough so that if somebody pulls it up, they can't see all the way down in there to where the sides are going to meet. So let's just go on and make it 3. Let's make it 3 inches deep. That'll still get us down in here. So let's draw a line. No, we don't need a line. Yeah, we do. Draw a little line on 3-inch side or 3-inch mark. on both sides. Now we'll drill down into the block, and then we'll put a little block, or we'll drill into the top a little bit so that we can glue the dowel into the top, and give it a place for the dowel to run into down at the bottom. So what I've done, folks, is I've drawn a line with a marker on the drill bit to tell me the depth, how deep I need to go. So if you don't have a drill bit that's this long, and this is a 5/16 drill bit because the dowel that I'm going to use is also 5/16. So we're gonna go in at that depth, at least as deep as your dowel is going to take your little hook into. And I'll show you the hook shortly. So anyway, make your little mark, and it'll tell you how deep you need to go. And you want to get this as straight as possible. Since they're the same size, the dowel and the bit are the same size, we're gonna waller this out just a little bit. But I'm also gonna whittle the dowel off too, to make it look a little more, give it a whittled look. To make your little mark about 3 inches. Part of your dowel is going to go up inside the top, so that's okay. We'll just allow for that. Then you can put your little center mark in the top part, the top piece, your little guide. And you're only going to sink this about 1/8 of an inch or so. Not very deep at all. And if we get teeth marks on the top, then we'll just whittle those back off. Maybe deeper than 1/8, maybe more like quarter deep, so you can hold that dowel rod with some glue. And we've got some little marks there, so we'll just whittle those off. So now I've whittled off the dowel a little bit just to make it look a little more homemade. And now we've got plenty of room to get inside there. So now we'll glue the top to the dowel. All right, folks, so let's take our dowel and let's go almost to the end, not far enough to where you can cut off make a chunk out of it and cut the end of it off. So let's go back. Let's go back here. I don't know, 1/4 inch. Put your little stop cut in. Nice and easy. Cut into that. What you're going to do is make a little hook looking cut out of that dowel. And be careful you don't cut yourself. Very wise to have some gloves on when you're cutting a little piece like this. Just making something that looks like a little hook. About like that. I don't need to go much farther than halfway through that piece or you'll break through it. Okay. And now we'll glue the top onto the dowel. Oh, one more thing. Make sure that you glue your top to the opposite end of the hook. Okay? Don't glue it on the hook end. Glue it on the opposite the hook end. All right, folks. So this next step you can either do or you can skip, because the trick still works. I'm going to hook a rubber band. I'm going to hook the rubber band that's down inside the piece of wood. So you don't even have to have this next step, and I won't tell you what it is yet. So what you're going to do here is put your stick on the outside down to the hook. Put your little mark there where the hook is, and you're going to go around 180 degrees on the other side and put another mark right about where the hook is on the other side, and make sure that your hook will just reach those marks. You see that? On both sides. And make sure your lines are, or your dots are lined up so that it looks like the rubber band is going through the hole. So now at those spots we're going to take a little drill bit and drill in about 1/4 inch. Just a little piece of rubber band. Which is some super glue down in the hole. Same thing on the other side. Now you've got a rubber band going through the wood, and you can't see it from the top. So now, anybody that pulls the stick out can check and see if the hook will actually go down to the rubber band. But it does. It goes all the way down. And I like to pretend that I've got some secret code to hooking it before I actually do hook it. So I'll go across it 2 or 3 times and go back the other way and keep it down low and pull it out and turn it. And all right, guys, there he is, finished up. I put a little wood stain on there. You saw my boys trying to figure it out. I told them they'd have to watch the video to see how I did it.
It's ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't either.
So we had a lot of fun with it. We'll have some more fun with it with other family members. So it's a neat little project, and I think you'll enjoy it if you make one for the kids. You got grandkids to make them for. But like I said, you could you could have just made a piece of basswood here, just maybe I don't know, a couple 3-inch piece of basswood, and round you off the top with the little, and you don't even have to have a dowel. You could use You know, I've roughed that dowel up to make it look like a stick. You could go out in the backyard and find you a straight stick and make one of these. So anyway, fun little project. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time. Oh, and if I forgot to tell you how it works. You just squeeze the top.